Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apparently, Democrat gaslighting produces zero emissions. But what does their radical agenda mean for constituents in my districts and your districts who pay more at the pump, who pay more for groceries? Folks in Southeast Michigan have experienced their jobs being extinct, being shipped to other states, being shipped to other countries because Green New Deal woke policies do not work in the real world. Let's look at this from a 30,000-foot view. Over the past 4 years, every American has footed a higher gas bill, higher energy costs, and rising prices to keep their cars running and their homes heated. Under the Biden-Harris administration, they totally bent over to the radical left. We stopped producing cleaner, affordable energy in America to fit a narrative that only serves coastal elites and the rich in New York and California. What did this lead to? Our strategic petroleum reserves hit lows we haven't seen since I was a baby. That meant U.S. relying on energy that was unclean, energy that I would note are from dictators and despots in Moscow and Beijing and Tehran. Here's the inconvenient truth for my friends on the left. Energy produced and developed here in America is cleaner, it's safer, and it doesn't threaten our national security. In fact, it bolsters it. And what's worse, relying on our adversaries for energy means American jobs go down, not up. My constituents in the Detroit area are all too familiar with this, seeing the reckless policy effects of the EV mandates. Another failed policy billable to the Biden administration is importing sour crude, which has funded our adversaries. And we talk about infrastructure investments on the left side. Well, how about shutting down the Keystone Pipeline, which got rid of 11,000 union jobs? Now, the Democrats' Green New Deal agenda is the grim reaper for American jobs and actually clean energy. Being able to actually move forward into a future where we can all have cheaper, safer, cleaner energy is our goal. All of the above is the approach. Line 5 pipeline is something that is a critical artery of energy for transporting crude and natural gas from Western Canada, which goes through Michigan, through the Great Lakes. And Line 5 is not just an economic driver for Michigan, but also provides energy to the east side of Canada. Unfortunately, radical environmentalists and ambitious politicians in both Lansing and Ottawa have become obstacles to common sense. They're banding together to shut down Line 5 in violation of a treaty that we have with our Canadian neighbors. Ms. Eversole, in your expert opinion, do you believe that restrictions like those, restrictions on Line 5 and having an all-of-the-above energy approach, continuing to trade with our Canadian allies, makes us weaker or stronger?
Indeed, these restrictions make us weaker.
Thank you. 2 weeks ago, Michigan state regulators approved $217 million rake hike on the DTE Energy, a power provider in Southeast Michigan. According to MPSC, the state regulator, DTE must charge consumers more to upgrade old power lines and continue maintenance to improve reliability. Now, we know that Michigan is now ranked 38 out of 50 for having the highest energy costs. Mr. McCown, in your expert opinion, is this a recipe for success, increasing costs and price without also having permitting reform and allowing an all-of-the-above approach to include natural gas to smooth our way away from coal and smooth our way toward nuclear? Or do increased regulations increase costs on consumers?
Mr. James, you're spot on. Increased regulations, increased cost, and far too often utilities are more than happy just to pass that along to the consumer instead of investing some of their profits back as well.
Thank you. Last year, I spoke on the House floor about how Biden's war on LNG was going to harm Michigan specifically. We have 1.1 trillion cubic feet in underground storage, which is one-eighth of the entire nation's natural gas storage capacity. Given DTE and consumers' baseload requirements that are increasing over the years versus the regulations in Michigan, we've been dealing with heavy-handed restrictions on building additional natural gas facilities and the supporting infrastructure requirements that we need to convey that safely with less power outages across the state. With a Republican House, Republican Senate, and White House, what can this Congress do to scale up natural gas as a reliable source? Again, Mr. McCown.
Well, there are several things we can do. Number one is we can stop the war on fossil fuels. We can have revised permitting. We can invoke public-private partnerships, loan guarantees. Some of the very same things that have been done for the renewable industry could be done to expand our natural gas or other fossil fuel industry, too. It should be a level playing field for everybody.
We all want clean air. We all want clean water. We all want to reduce pollution. But we also don't want to send our countrymen to the poorhouse trying to pay for sunshine and rainbows that before our infrastructure is ready for it. The former president's LNG war is top Well, I'm running out of time here, so I'll just say we need to have something that's environmentally, economically friendly, and I plan to work on an all of the above energy approach with my colleagues on the left and right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.